Hi, my name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love and Sassy Seer Sheila, as this will be seen on both channels. This is the lost empire of Tartaria, a hidden civilization, suppressed knowledge, and the lies of our reality by Jason Gray. There exists a world buried beneath our feet and hidden within the folds of history, a civilization erased, a truth so monumental that if fully realized, it would shatter the very foundations of our understanding of reality. This is the mystery of Tartaria, an advanced and global civilization whose remnants still whisper their presence through architecture, symbols, and the very energy that flows through the earth itself. To accept Tartaria's existence is to unravel a deliberate conspiracy, a centuries long deception that has veiled the true nature of our past, our power, and our place in the universe. The suppression of Tartaria is not merely an academic oversight, it is an orchestrated campaign. It is orchestrated campaign to keep humanity in a perpetual state of ignorance and servitude. It is a story of lost technology, free energy, sacred geometry, and a global effort to erase history, all connected to an ancient understanding of the universe, one that aligns directly with Hermetic wisdom and the hidden spiritual sciences that govern existence. The civilization that shouldn't exist. The remnants of Tartaria are everywhere, yet we have been conditioned to overlook them. The grand buildings of the past, ornate cathedrals, immense star forts, impossible architecture that defies the primitive tools attributed to their construction, tell a different story. These structures, with their intricate geometry and resonance-based design, align with frequencies and energy flows in ways that modern science barely comprehends. Cities such as Chicago, San Francisco, and Toronto were supposedly built in the 19th century by settlers with horse-drawn carts, crude tools, and limited manpower. Yet they exhibit architectural mastery, immense scale, and engineering feats that rival anything in the modern era. Then, as if on cue, these same cities experienced catastrophic, quote, fires that erased nearly all evidence of their true origins. These fires were not accidents. They were resets, deliberate purges of history, part of a larger plan to rewrite our past. I want to pause there for a second, because if you just realize what's being done in this era, there's already an orchestrated attempt at revisionist history right now, with the tearing down of certain statues because supposedly they're offensive, which, I mean, and that's happening right now. And I point to that because that's very easy to see. Back to Jason's writing here. The world fairs of the late 1800s and early 1900s were showcases of Tartarian technology before their final eradication. Supposedly built as temporary structures, these events displayed immense Greco-Roman and Gothic style buildings complete with massive domes, obelisks, and intricate power conducting spires. And then, like clockwork, they were destroyed, burned, dismantled, or simply left to decay. Why would a society capable of constructing such wonders tear them down immediately after? Because they were never built by modern hands. They were remnants of a world that had to be erased. The power they don't want you to have. Tartarian architecture wasn't just visually stunning, it was functional. These buildings were designed to harness and distribute free energy through atmospheric collection. Spires, domes, and copper-topped structures functioned as resonators, pulling in energy from the ether, a fundamental concept that Nikola Tesla later attempted to reintroduce before his work was suppressed. These structures worked in harmony with ley lines, natural energetic highways that crisscross the earth, amplifying their ability to provide power, healing, and even altered states of consciousness. The elimination of these structures and the forced reliance on fossil fuels was not about progress, but control. A humanity that can generate free energy and tap into the natural frequencies of the universe is a humanity that cannot be enslaved. Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower was a reawakening of Tartarian knowledge, a device meant to transmit wireless energy to the world. It was destroyed not because it failed, but because it worked. The same forces that erased Tartaria saw to it that the 20th century would be dominated by artificial scarcity, financial control, and a complete severing of mankind from the true energetic nature of reality. The hidden war on consciousness. The erasure of Tartaria was not just about physical control, it was about spiritual suppression. The knowledge embedded in Tartarian society was deeply hermetic in nature, reflecting an understanding of the macrocosm and microcosm of the alchemical transmutation of energy and the direct connection between human consciousness and the vibrational field of the universe. This civilization did not build simply for shelter or grandeur. They built according to sacred geometry, aligning their cities and structures with cosmic forces, mirroring the divine order. The Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, was physically manifested in their architecture, allowing those who lived within these spaces to remain in harmony with the universal flow. By eradicating Tartaria and its knowledge, the hidden controllers of this world severed humanity from its natural state. We were thrown into a system that is inorganic, disconnected, and spiritually corrosive. Cities today are designed to suppress energy flow, filled with harsh angles, low vibrations, and technology that disrupts rather than enhances. Modern architecture is not built for human flourishing, it is built for containment. The destruction of Tartaria was the first great fall of humanity. The second was the forced indoctrination into a system of artificial limitations, where true wisdom was replaced with dogma and spiritual sovereignty was exchanged for obedience. Unraveling the deception, the awakening of the soul. To awaken to the reality of Tartaria is to recognize the scale of the deception that has been forced upon us. It is to understand that history is not a linear progression, but a cyclical resetting of knowledge, where civilizations rise, flourish, and then are erased when they threaten the control of the elite. This is not just a physical war. It is a war on consciousness. Those who control history control the present, and those who control the present control the future. But the truth cannot remain buried forever. The resurgence of interest in Tartaria is no coincidence. It is part of the greater awakening, an era where the veils are thinning and the hidden truths are surfacing. Hermeticism teaches that all things seek balance, that the cycles of destruction and renewal are governed by universal laws. The erasure of Tartaria was a massive suppression of light, but now the pendulum swings back. As more people begin to question the impossibilities of the mainstream historical narrative, as more uncover the suppressed works of Tesla, and as humanity starts to realign itself with natural frequencies, the old paradigm begins to crumble. The world is not what we have been told, and we are far more powerful than we have been led to believe. The path forward, reclaiming the lost knowledge. The suppression of Tartaria is ultimately a suppression of human potential. If we were to fully rediscover and reintegrate this lost wisdom, we would enter a new renaissance, a rebirth of architecture, energy, and consciousness that would restore harmony between humanity and the cosmos. We must rebuild, not just physically, but spiritually. We must seek out and preserve ancient knowledge, rediscover the true function of geometry, sound, and energy, and refuse to accept the imposed limitations placed upon us by false historical narratives. The veils of deception are thinning, and as they fall, the hidden empire of Tartaria will rise once more, not as a place, but as a realization. It is not merely a forgotten civilization, it is a paradigm of living that aligns with the deepest truths of existence. It is the key to unlocking what was stolen from us. And when that truth is fully revealed, every lie we have ever been told about our history, our power, and our purpose will collapse under the weight of its own deception. The hidden controllers fear this moment, but it is inevitable. The return of Tartaria is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. And I could not agree more, actually. I have said the words that kind of energy is no longer supported. The lies, the deception, all the things that have been used to keep this suppression going are no longer supported by the cosmos, by the universe, by the energy at large. And the veils that he's speaking to here sound like they're out there, but they're not. They're in here. And as each one of us realize that and continue looking at the programming and conditioning that each and every one of us have had in differing ways, differing and very unique ways, those veils on the inside begin to crumble. And that is what is happening for me. I feel with all of me that it is happening for all of us in varying, differing, unique ways. Wow. Thank you, Jason. That's it for me today. I hope that you will move towards that which draws you in, because there's something there for you to discover. Until we meet again, my friends, be well.